Engines pushed beyond tolerance, airframes stripped of safety, and machines built to climb faster, dive harder, and outrun death itself. This is the complete speed catalog of World War II fighter aircraft. First, the Luftwaffe's speed catalog. Messerschmitt Bf 109, the evolutionary predator. Starting with the Emil at around 354 miles per hour in 1940, the design was pushed to its absolute limit with the K4 Kurfürst in 1944. Powered by the Daimler-Benz DB605D engine and MW50 methanol water injection, the K4 reached an impressive 460 miles per hour. Small, unforgiving, and difficult to fly, it remained competitive through sheer brute force rather than pilot comfort. Focke-Wulf FW190, the scavenger bird. Originally driven by the BMW 801 radial engine, the FW190 dominated low altitudes reaching 405 miles per hour. Its final evolution, the long-nose FW190D9 Dora, was stretched to fit the liquid-cooled inline Jumo 213 engine. This pushed top speed to 426 miles per hour, allowing it to challenge American P-51 Mustangs on nearly equal terms at high altitude. Messerschmitt 163, Komet, the Devil's Egg, the only operational rocket-powered interceptor in history. Fueled by the volatile chemical cocktail T-Stoff and C-Stoff, the Me-163 could reach an astonishing 596 miles per hour, climbing almost vertically in seconds. Untouchable in flight, but with barely 7 minutes of fuel, it often became a deadly trap, especially during landing, where explosions killed as many pilots as enemy action. Messerschmitt 262, Schwalbe, the Titanium Swallow. The world's first operational jet fighter. Powered by twin Jumo 004 axial flow turbojets, it reached 541 miles per hour, nearly 100 miles per hour faster than any Allied piston fighter. Its 430mm cannons shredded bombers with ease, but chronic shortages of rare metals crippled engine reliability and severely limited operational numbers. Heinkel He-162 Volksjäger, the People's Jet. A final, desperate attempt to field a disposable jet fighter built from wood and glue, intended to be flown by minimally trained pilots, including members of the Hitler Youth. With a BMW 003 turbojet mounted atop the fuselage, it achieved a surprising 562 miles per hour. Fast on paper, but rushed construction and severe instability killed more pilots in accidents than in combat. From the green fields of the summer of 1940 to the gray skies of the Phi-1 flying bomb hunt. Machines that evolved from desperate defense into total air superiority. This is the speed catalog of the RAF and the Royal Navy. Hawker Hurricane Mark I, the Oak Shield. Overshadowed by the Spitfire, yet it carried the burden of the Battle of Britain. Built with a wood and fabric structure, it was rugged but aerodynamically outdated. Its top speed of just 340 miles per hour made it too slow to hunt Bf-10-9s in dogfights, so it was tactically assigned to engage the slower German bombers instead. Supermarine Spitfire, the evolution of a myth. Starting at around 360 miles per hour with the Merlin engine, the iconic elliptical wing design was pushed to its physical limits with the Mk4E and its massive Rolls-Royce Griffon engine. This final iteration reached an impressive 447 miles per hour, with 5-bladed propellers clawing the air in furious attempts to intercept German jets. Hawker Typhoon, the ground battering ram. Designed as a hurricane replacement, it suffered catastrophic tail failures during high-altitude dives. At sea level, however, its 24-cylinder Napier Sabre engine delivered brutal performance, pushing the aircraft to 412 miles per hour. It became the terror of German trains and armored columns in Normandy, using speed for lightning-fast rocket attacks. Hawker Tempest 5, the missile hunter. The aerodynamically refined Typhoon fitted with a thinner laminar flow wing. Exceptionally fast and stable at low altitude, it reached 432 miles per hour. It was one of the very few Allied piston fighters capable of chasing down and destroying V-1 flying bombs through sheer raw speed before they reached London. Gloucester Meteor, the cautious pioneer, the Allied entry into the jet age. Unlike the radical German designs, it used a conservative layout with engines mounted in the wings. Early versions reached 415 miles per hour and improved rapidly after the war. It was forbidden from flying over occupied Europe to prevent its secret technology from falling into Nazi hands if shot down. De Havilland Mosquito, the Wooden Wonder. A twin-engine fighter-bomber made of plywood and glue, yet faster than most single-engine metal fighters. With a top speed of 415 miles per hour, speed itself was its armor. It flew so fast and so high that for much of the war it was virtually immune to Luftwaffe interception. They were not built for tight turns, but for speed, altitude, and devastating dives. Metal beasts powered by the largest radial and inline engines of the war. This is the speed catalog of the USAAF and the U.S. Navy. Curtiss P-40 Warhawk, the transitional fighter. Made famous by the Flying Tigers. Aerodynamically limited and heavy, it struggled to exceed 360 miles per hour and suffered badly at altitude. However, its rugged airframe allowed extremely high-speed dives well beyond what Japanese Zeros could survive, enabling the boom and zoom hit-and-run tactics that saved Allied pilots early in the war. Grumman F-6F Hellcat, the flying tank. The U.S. Navy's brutal answer to the Zero. It sacrificed elegance for a massive R2800 double Wasp engine and heavy armor. With a top speed of 380 miles per hour, it was not the fastest in level flight, but its consistent power and extreme durability allowed it to dominate the Pacific with an unmatched 19-to-1 kill ratio. WWII Corsair, the Whistling Death. Instantly recognizable by its inverted gull wings. It was the first American fighter to break 400 miles per hour in level flight. Reaching 417 miles per hour and even more in later variants, its 2,000 horsepower engine and massive propeller demanded skilled pilots, but delivered an overwhelming speed advantage over any Japanese interceptor. Lockheed P-38, Lightning, the twin-tailed demon. A radical twin-engine design with turbo superchargers housed in its long booms. Quiet and deadly at high altitude, it reached 414 miles per hour. Its unique configuration eliminated engine torque, making it an exceptionally stable gun platform. It was the aircraft chosen to intercept and shoot down Admiral Yamamoto. P-47 Thunderbolt, the supersonic steamroller. A giant weighing nearly 8 tons. The standard P-47D reached 429 miles per hour, but the hot rod P-47M, built specifically to hunt jets, pushed the limit to an astonishing 473 miles per hour. Legendary for its diving ability, it routinely approached or exceeded the speed of sound in steep dives, recovering thanks to hydraulic dive flaps. P-51 Mustang, the Cadillac of the skies. The perfect marriage of an American laminar flow fuselage with the British Merlin engine, built under license by Packard. Reaching 437 miles per hour at 25,000 feet, it had the range to escort bombers to Berlin and back. Its low aerodynamic drag allowed it to sustain high speeds with remarkably efficient fuel consumption. While the West fought in the stratosphere, the Eastern Front was decided at treetop level. Light machines without oxygen systems or excess armor, built to dominate low-altitude combat. This is the speed catalog of the Soviet VVS. Polikarpov Y-16, the obsolete pioneer. Revolutionary in the 1930s as the world's first monoplane fighter with retractable landing gear, by 1941 it had become a deadly trap. With a top speed of only 292 miles per hour, it was unstable and difficult to fly. Soviet pilots were often forced to resort to ramming tactics to run against the Luftwaffe, as they could neither escape nor pursue modern German fighters. Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-3, the fish out of water. Designed as a high-altitude interceptor where it could reach an excellent 398 miles per hour. Unfortunately, air combat over Russia took place almost entirely below 16,400 feet, where the MiG's engine lost power, turning it slow and heavy. It was withdrawn from frontline service in favor of more practical aircraft. Lavochkin La-7, radial perfection. The mount of the highest-scoring Allied ace, Ivan Kozhedub. Aerodynamically refined from the La-5FN, it reached 411 miles per hour at sea level. Its laminated wood structure, known as Delta Wood, was both lightweight and fire-resistant, fast enough to hunt FW-190s and even chase early Me-262 jets in a dive. Yakovlev 3, the featherweight killer, the lightest and most agile fighter on the Eastern Front. Everything non-essential was stripped away, creating an insane power-to-weight ratio. It reached 407 miles per hour at low altitude. The Luftwaffe issued official orders forbidding pilots from engaging in turning fights with yaks without a chin oil radiator below 16,400 feet. Yakovlev 9U, the final evolution, the ultimate high-speed variant of the most produced yak family. Powered by the formidable VK-107 engine and a refined fuselage, it reached 435 miles per hour, matching the P-51 Mustang and the Bf-109K. Arriving in the final months of the war, it ensured the VVS entered the March on Berlin with full technological superiority. They sacrificed everything: armor, self-sealing fuel tanks, and pilot safety in exchange for range and turning agility. When American speed finally caught up, Japan desperately tried to build high-powered monsters. This is the speed catalog of the Empire of Japan. Mitsubishi A6M0, the paper myth, the terror of the Pacific in 1941. Incredibly light, it reached 331 miles per hour. While it felt fast due to its supernatural maneuverability, its actual top speed was mediocre. Worse still, its fragile structure could not withstand high-speed dives, often breaking apart if it tried to chase a Corsair or Hellcat down a steep descent. Nakajima Ki-43 Hayabusa, the Army's Falcon. The Army's counterpart to the Zero, even lighter and more maneuverable. Depending on the variant, it reached only 304 to 329 miles per hour. Although it could outturn any Allied fighter, its lack of top-end speed and light armament, just 2 machine guns, made it obsolete against American boom and zoom tactics. Nakajima Ki-84 Hayate, the Lost Hope, often cited as the best Japanese fighter of the war. Well-armored and heavily armed, it reached 426 miles per hour thanks to a 2,000 horsepower radial engine. On paper, it outperformed the P-51 Mustang and P-47 Thunderbolt. In reality, shortages of high-octane fuel and quality metal alloys late in the war rarely allowed it to reach its full potential. Kawanishi N1K2J Shiden Kai, the Violet Lightning, a unique design derived from a floatplane. Rugged and heavy by Japanese standards, it reached 369 miles per hour. It became famous for its automatic combat flaps, which increased lift in tight turns. It was the only Japanese aircraft capable of fighting F-6F Hellcats on nearly equal terms in the savage air battles over Okinawa. Mitsubishi J2M Raiden, the Bullet Interceptor, a radical departure from traditional Japanese fighter philosophy. Designed purely for climb rate and B-29 interception, sacrificing maneuverability. With a massive engine and a short, thick fuselage, it reached 417 miles per hour. Fast and solidly armed with 20mm cannons, it became the last line of defense over the skies of Tokyo. Designs that prioritize maneuverability and aesthetic beauty over raw power until the reality of war forced the import of German engines. This is the speed catalog of the Regia Aeronautica and the Armée de l'Air. WWII 520, the French Hope, the only French fighter capable of facing the Bf-109E in 1940 on roughly equal terms. Powered by a 12-cylinder Hispano-Suiza engine, it reached 332 miles per hour. It offered excellent maneuverability and a fast dive, but arrived in negligible numbers. After the fall of France, it was ironically used by Italy and Bulgaria as an advanced trainer. Macchi C202 Folgore, the Italian Lightning Bolt, a revolution in Italian fighter design. Engineers took Macchi's superbly aerodynamic airframe and installed the German Daimler-Benz DB601 engine, the same used in the Bf-109. The result was a major performance leap to 373 miles per hour. Fast and agile but chronically underarmed, it relied on machine guns that barely scratched Allied bombers. Fiat G55 Centauro, late war excellence. Considered by many Luftwaffe experts to be the best Axis fighter of the war. Equipped with the powerful DB605 engine, it reached 387 miles per hour while carrying heavy armament of 320mm cannons. German evaluations were so positive that production in Germany was considered, but Italy's bomb-ravaged industry was never able to manufacture it in large numbers. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and tell us in the comments which catalog you want to see next. See you in the next one.